leaders. So now, my question is, how you gonna branch off from what you're doing to make that tree grow? Everybody needs a branch. But you planting seeds so that more branches can grow. So, with that being said, the whole purpose of dealing with leadership is knowing how to stimulate, how to agitate, and how to motivate. Because if you don't look at the criteria for leading, how can you lead? And if you're not paying attention to what you're doing, then how do you know what gifts you have? The first session we had was about what is the plight of the black male in America in 2019, life or existence. You gotta decide. You have to decide. Either you're gonna blow with the wind, or you're gonna choose a life that's gonna be becoming of the great potential that you have. Time out, gentlemen. Every last one of you are needed. You're needed. So I just want to go over the human aspects. First thing, moral law. Anybody have? Well, I'm quite sure you do, but anybody has any idea of what moral law is? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but it's a session to interact. You know, don't be quiet, because I got quite a few questions, but it's not about that. It's about us interacting.
You said moral law?
Moral law. Moral. All of you all know, doing what's right, okay? Now, depending on what's right is based off how your moral laws are set up as an individual. Okay, right from wrong, okay, we can establish that. But now that you know how often and how long are you gonna hold on to your moral law in spite of what this world does? Maybe family, maybe a professor, maybe your cousin, maybe a friend. Where have you decided that your moral law will not be moved? Because it's just, once again, it's blowing in the wind. If you can't establish your morals, how you gonna lead? I could talk all day, but if none of my actions lead up to what I'm talking about, I don't have a moral standard. I don't have a moral standard, because one day I want to be a pimp. I'm just saying. Next day, I'm running at you. Hey, what are you doing? Look, man, vote for me, man. I'm running for council. Next day, you see me out acting like a nut. Where's the moral law? Where is the moral law? And how long are you going to stand on it? Because we waver too fast. Too fast. Get back in the mirror. Like, man, that was bad shit. Dust yourself off. Come back. Reestablish the same law that you know you're supposed to live by. Because that's what true leaders do. You have to have a moral law. If not, when it gets tight, what are you going to depend on? The values of the world, or the values that God intended for you to have? Gotta think about it, man. And think about it, you're gonna have to decide, the value of your morals. Do the right thing this day, I don't care the next day. It's not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly. Dust yourself off. Get back on the battlefield. Once again, you're gonna hear me say it a lot. You are needed. You are needed, each and every last one of you. If you're not as confident in yourself as you should be, that's all right. Some of the greatest people on this earth had to build from either disability or something that they weren't comfortable doing. I've had an opportunity to speak before, but with empowerment sessions, the only way that I'm going to get involved in it is to get involved in it. Bottom line. So you got to remember, you got to have a moral law. Next, you got to have a spiritual purpose. There isn't a man on this earth that does not have a spiritual purpose. Now, when you say that, I mean, what comes to mind with you and I?
What you want him to be?
Okay, right. And the reason why I said moral law and spiritual purpose, so you can time in. once you establish a standard, you know, and you value the standard, now you can execute your spiritual purpose that God intended for you. My call to them kids, man, forever. Know where I can get away from it, know where I want to get away from it. Or working with younger generation because somebody did the same thing with me. So it's about me giving the same thing back. And hopefully, this poses as a challenge to every last one of you guys to lead a movement. You in college. You know, and some of us may have different reasons of what we thought college was, but now you're here. So, as a graduate family, I'm saying as an alumni, you held accountable to lead on this campus. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I mean, situations happen, you try to de-escalate it. What we don't need is cowards. We don't need cowards, man. It's not about what the status quo says. What's your moral law? Does a female change it? You know what I mean? Does a job change it? What's your spiritual purpose? I know part of my spiritual purpose is to help build younger brothers into great leaders, and at the same time, make sure that there's a foundation that's spiritual, because nothing else is going to last gentlemen, without that. We already seen the mass murder. And I'm going to keep talking about it because I'm pissed off, really. You know what I mean? Too many excuses for all the wrong reasons, period. For all the wrong reasons. So, we don't need to walk the walk, talk the talk. I mean, you got to do it. So it started a process, and it starts with you. Gentlemen, challenge yourself every day to do something better. If you didn't, come back the next day. I don't see not one female in here. Not one. So my point to you is, hey, step out some. Because right now, before you know it, your college days are going to be gone. Before you know it, 25, 30, 35, 40, where the time went. So right now, you gotta take a good look at what you're doing to become a good leader. With the purpose, then you can apply it. When you have a spiritual purpose, now you can apply something. You can put it into action. The more you put it into action, the more he picks it up. If he picks it up, then he picks it up. Pretty soon we got a large number of black men doing something that's supposed to be done that can't nobody stop. Nobody. The only way we can stop is we stop ourselves. And we detach from God. It's serious, fellas. It's serious. I don't have a choice. I do not have a choice. Not that I even want it. The time is now. The time is now. And one of the other things I want to mention about spiritual application, you're going to have to think about how you're going to apply your spirit to aspects of your life. You got a good health with people? Not just spiritual. Apply that. If you know that's what's in you, apply that. People watching. Our sisters watching. But at the same time, what are we going to do to get their attention? And not just for them being females. I mean, they're human as well. But when we start to lead more, then they'll get it. Until we do that, blowing in the wind. So how are we going to build a black nation? How are we going to be able to build a black nation if we can't lead the way we're supposed to lead? We can't. So we all are in consensus of our leadership has a lot to do with everything, even though we're not perfect. As a leader, you got to learn different strategies. How to agitate, when to agitate, and when you're irritating someone. Does anybody know the difference between agitation and irritation? Anybody else? if you've been assigned to do something, and you all have built this relationship as brothers in the organization, then you will listen more. You'll be more inclined to listen because you've built a relationship. And when you build a relationship with somebody, a relationship with someone, you say, come on, man, hey. I know that was kind of crazy, man. Shit, and you will probably receive that better than somebody that you don't know coming up to you asking you something, and you don't know from the hill of beans. So now you irritated, I don't know that dude, man. This guy all in my face. What's going on? You know, you don't know him. But when you see someone you know, and you know he really cares about you at your back, then you tend to naturally listen more. And sometimes that makes all the difference. Somebody got in trouble, come on, man, slow down, man. We got enough shooting. It's enough violence. Period. Not to mention among us, that's a whole other thing, but you have to understand that, and you have to understand how to disseminate your information. If I want to be positive with this brother, I need to send him a positive message. I can't send him a message where I'm talking down to him, or like he's dumb or ignorant. How is he going to receive information to get better if I'm downing him, or I'm not giving him the respect he deserves as a human being? You got to remember that. If I know that you learn from seeing things a lot, and I observe that, then that's the way I'm going to disseminate that information to you, so you can visualize it. Those are the type of things that leaders do. You have to look at the strengths and weaknesses, not just for yourself, for people that are around you, so we can complement each other. That's what brothers are supposed to do. Right or wrong?
Right.
Make your information receptive to others. And that's what I was just saying. Make your information receptive to others. Want to hear it, you know. Like, it's something that Brother Johnson and I do. I call him. I'll be so excited on the phone. Man, I great news, I got great news. What is it? I'm going to tell you, it's this right here, something. But the whole point is that when we channel positive energy among each other, it's contagious. It's contagious. So we have to do more of that. And we can't do everything in one day or one night. But you can hold yourself accountable for starting to implement one or two things to make you a better leader. How will you influence the outcomes of your information? Say, for instance, you all just had a meeting, okay? And you had a project that you guys did maybe last year, and you talked about it and went over. So now you can look at and see exactly what you did and how well you did it, because without constructive criticism of ourselves, we will never grow. Constructive criticism. Constructive criticism. We'll move to another section right quick, and like I said, I don't want to hold you guys too long. We're back in pretty good long time. The value of standing on a standard.
Then on what?
The value of standing on a standard. Once again, it goes back to having an unwavered purpose. You have to remember that. It's important. We can't waver. We can't get any consistency out of life or the things we're doing without continuously trying to get better. That's what a leader does. He's never satisfied. Now, sometimes I kind of beat myself up a little bit on, I got to be honest about that. Because I know there are things that are expected of me that I should do, and I should be able to do it even better as I get older. So if I don't hold myself accountable, I'll never get better. Where's my drive? If I'm a leader, then if nobody sees my drive, then where's your drive? If I didn't think this was important right now, I wouldn't be here. Where's my drive? Where's my drive to lead? Where's my drive to reach out to some other brothers? Time is now, man. Time is now. I keep saying it, the time is now. Start today, work on tomorrow. Once again, a lot of what leadership is going to your spiritual aspects, because you just can't lead just from a physical or a mental standpoint. You have to lead from a spiritual standpoint. Your belief system. So many systems out here that's got people warped. You have to make sure that your belief system is strong enough that you can stand on it every day. Every day. Not just next week or next month. Every day. So you see how we're talking about moral love, spiritual purpose. It all ties into you. You're the universe. You carry energy. You carry vibrations. And the vibrations you put out is what your brother's going to pick up. You are the leaders. You decided to come to school, that says a lot. You decided to do something to better yourself. So that in itself is saying that I'm the leader. Lead by example. I mentioned that earlier. I can't say I want to do a bunch of things and I'm not willing to get out there and do it. So that's pretty much self-explanatory. Be productive in team-supported endeavors. Because you don't know who else looking at you to lead something. That's like a professor may see you in the class, and now they set you up for an intern because of the way that you handle things and the way you work with people. All this is part of the leadership that's within you, that you gotta tap into. You can't wait. You cannot wait. You cannot wait. Period. The next aspect is what method or approach that you're using to become a good leader. See, it's all introspection, why am I going to do it this way? Why did I decide to do this? Is it beneficial not to just me, but beyond me? So you have to ask yourself these questions. Meditate, sit down, ask God to expose some things to you that you want to know. Talk to Him. If you're not comfortable doing it, I suggest you start getting comfortable doing it, or your life is going to be a wreck, and you won't be able to lead anything or anybody. You assess. You always go through your assessment, your self-reflection, your weak points, your strong points, and you build from there. How did you implement what you were trying to do? What was your mental processes? How did you go about formulating what you want to do? I know when I first thought about the empowerment sessions, it was the semester before we started. And brother there, you guys open on. I said, well, okay, I don't have an excuse. Door been open. So I got to move. The assessment, the implementation, and evaluation of your impact of your leadership with others. And that's what I was saying about how you communicate with each other, how you build. It's important. You gotta look at these things because it happens in your life every day. You sizing up different things all day, every day. But how are you sizing it up? Or are you looking at it in a way that you can grow from it? Or are you just saying, well, this is the situation, or this is the situation I'm in, and that's just what it is. There's a solution to everything. God did not put us on this earth to not have solutions. But when we run away from the solutions, that's what becomes problematic. And that's one of the things we're dealing with black male leadership. Hey man, well look, I'm gonna get this grant, but I'm gonna just cut you in an extra. When are we gonna decide that what we stand on is strong enough and good enough that no matter who we deal with, that they'll be able to respect it because it's the right thing to do? We all got struggles. But I guarantee you, if you start going the wrong road, you're gonna get stuck. You'll get stuck. So the challenge of being a leader is something that you can always build on. Always build on. Remember, I always mentioned about constructive criticism. Now, the last part, then I have a few tidbits I want to go over, but I want to ask you guys this in the last part. Do you have a just cause that drives your leadership vision? What cause in your life is strong enough that will drive your vision to whatever you want to do? You gotta know. If that cause, if your drive is not strong enough, then maybe that cause is not that important in your life. Because that's what it's going to boil down to. So, we got to understand, man. Brothers, you need it. Brothers, you need it. I cannot express it. I mean, I can say it 1,000 times, and I know it's like, man. But I'm doing it on purpose. Brothers, you are needed. You are leaders. Brothers, you are needed. You are leaders. A couple other things to think about. Little food for thought. Are the goals of your vision becoming a reality? That's going to tell you if you're procrastinating or you're looking at what you're supposed to be looking at. You know, time waits for no man. Time waits for no man. And you see, this country that we built is not being dictated by a whole bunch of fraudulent BS. I gotta still keep it professional. So, where's your role in combating all the things that's happening right now? If we don't figure it out individually and collectively, it's just gonna get worse. It's just gonna keep snowball effect on us. Pretty soon, if we don't stand up for our rights, they're trying to strip those now. You're giving more rights to other things than the things that are of principal morals. So if we don't stand, we don't care. That's what they're gonna say. Oh, they're not. We got them laws. Keep them laws. But when they wake up, now it's a problem. You know, I don't know if any of you guys saw the whole movie Spike Lee, College Days or whatever. Where the brother swooped in, and the brother was screaming in the middle, "Wake up!" I felt like doing that a couple